Electrifying sports talk from start to finish.
You're going way to way.
With Diesel and Cole Bryson.
On the Fan Upstate.
Well, I'm done with the Braves. I'm done.
Already?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm
Don't
good.
give up yet,
No, I'm
Cole.
good.
It's too
I'm done.
soon.
No.
Too soon.
No, they're losing. They're about to lose. Bottom of the ninth. I'm done. This Braves team's no good. Like I really wanted to sweep the series, Diesel. This is embarrassing. It's pathetic. Walt Wise should be fired. I'm just thinking of everything like Tom and Dewey will say, right? In the Tolo takeover today. But the Braves.
We need Walt Weiss to go out there and spear somebody. Put him on the ground.
Hey, whatever works. Whatever works. The Braves on the wrong side of things today against the Detroit Tigers. However, the Atlanta Braves did get a win last night, Diesel, which signifies another series win for the Atlanta Braves. The Braves have still yet to lose a series this season, 2026. So, look, one game, we're not going to let it ruin our parade, even though it kind of sucks to lose a midday game, a get-out-of-town game, because you have to live with it all day, all night, right? If you lose at night, you go to sleep, bam, it's a new day the next day. You have a little bit longer to sour on this one, Diesel. But the Atlanta Braves still rolling as, look, the goal of this thing is to win series, right? As much as we want to sweep and win every game out there, the goal is to win series. The Braves have done that. And you look again ahead to this weekend with the Colorado Rockies. The Braves going out west to play Colorado. It feels like another winnable series. And this Braves team, even though they didn't have the outcome they wanted today, this is still a Braves team that has shown us, Diesel, that they can bounce back, and they have had no problem bouncing back thus far this season.
Yeah, bounce back has been the name of the game. You know, they've gotten touched up a little bit in early innings, especially once they get to the second pitcher. But the Braves have found ways late in games, evidenced, in fact, last night by Matt Olson hitting a game-winning walk-off home run to get it done against the very good Tigers. So you got to feel good about the Braves' ability, even if they don't come out of the gate white hot, and they occasionally do that as well. I mean, it's almost like the Braves are trying to say, hey, look at what we can do. We can hit home runs. We can hit down the line. We can hit bloopers. We can hit infield singles. Oh, by the way, we can hit walk-off home runs as well. This is must-watch television when the Braves are on TV. You got to watch every single inning.
A big baseball day, a big baseball weekend, Diesel, locally, Braves-wise. Like all of our attention feels like it turns to the diamond this time of year, right? There's not a lot going on. Obviously, NBA playoffs. We've talked about that. We'll talk about it more on the show. North Greenville, we had Landon Powell on the show yesterday, Diesel. They got a first-round win, a first-round dub in the Conference Carolinas tournament today. They won 7-3 over Kings, so they'll be back in action tomorrow at 3 p.m. Obviously, Clemson and South Carolina to follow on the diamond this weekend. It hadn't been good for either program, but Coastal, I guess Coastal is the team that we are rallying behind, I guess.
Yeah.
Are we doing that? Are we full Chanticleers? Oh, are you allowed to do that?
No, I'll never put on the colors.
Okay.
That's one of those things, right? I mean, like, I have certain colors of teams that I will not wear. I will not ever wear teal. I'll never wear that teal.
Let me ask you this, though. If you did not go to App State, would you not admit that it's beautiful color? Like, I love Coastal's colors. I think they have a great color scheme.
I think the colors are great except for when they put it on the turf on a football field. I don't like that regardless because it looks like the saturation is all wonky on your TV.
No, I'm with you on that. I don't like it.
It's not good.
No, I prefer green grass. I prefer green grass, so I'm with you on that.
Call us traditionalists, you know?
That's right. I love Coastal Carolina's colors, though. I don't know what it is. They've got a beautiful color scheme. So I guess here we are as a state saying, hey, let's pull for Coastal to go make a run this postseason on the diamond. Since they're the only team other than North Greenville, who's Division II, that's worth the crap in Division I, Coastal Carolina, right? No disrespect to other teams. Furman's not very good this year. They hadn't been good in a while, Diesel. But I'm sorry. I shouldn't have gone there.
God.
I'm sorry.
God,
Shouldn't have.
there's somebody in Spartanburg County right now just laughing their rear ends off.
Yeah.
He got him.
Yeah, I
He
know,
got
I
him.
know,
They
little
don't have
Wofford.
a baseball team.
Hey, Wofford's been good, though. Wofford's been good.
They have
Division
been real
1.
good.
We had J.J. Edwards on last week, right? They've won, 30-plus games this year. I mean, an incredible year for Wofford, and, they still got a couple of weeks left. Division 2 baseball starts a few weeks earlier and ends a few weeks earlier, Diesel, than Division 1 does, so a couple of weeks remaining. But I do want to bring this up when it comes to the Atlanta Braves and the MLB as we start the show, start the hour with some baseball conversations, some baseball talk. A couple of quick stats to throw at you. Number 1, let's talk catchers. Okay? Catchers. Diesel, coming into the season, the Braves knew what they had in Drake Baldwin, right? But I don't know if they really knew what Drake Baldwin would do this season. They knew what they had in Drake Baldwin. But now Drake Baldwin's having such a good season, Diesel, he's making history. Here's the stat for you. Catchers in MLB history to have 40-plus hits before May 1st. You ready? Again, this is catchers in MLB history to have 40-plus hits before May 1st. Mike Piazza in 1996, Pudge in 1998, William Contreras in 2024, and 2026, Drake Baldwin. He is only one of 4 catchers, Diesel, in the history of Major League Baseball to have 40-plus hits before May 1st in that season. So for all the things that the Atlanta Braves fans have had to go through wrong the last 2 years, you have one of the best players in baseball at catcher.
Yeah, and they're going to bench him, too. That's what's funny.
And that's where I was going. That's where I was going. No, to heck with Sean Murphy's contract, right? To heck with Sean Murphy's contract. So you've got Sean Murphy. You've got Baldwin. Okay, what do you do with Jonah Heim, who, by the way, Diesel just won a world championship with the Texas Rangers, 3 years ago? And you've got Kim, who's close to being back on rehab.
Have fun in AAA, boys.
What do you do? How do you – you've got a big problem on your hands.
Yeah, well, the good thing is, I guess, for Walt Weiss is he gets to give those guys extra time to get all the way healthy. There's no need to rush any of those guys back. And then he lets them get hot. Now, if it gets to the point where it's, playing in AAA or on occasional outings with the Braves, and they are just tearing the cover off the ball. I mean, absolutely undeniably amazing. Then you make the switch and put them back into the lineup on a regular basis. It's unfortunate, it's unfortunate for Drake Baldwin. It's unfortunate for the other players who are possibly going to lose their roster spots. But, that's the name of the game. And you show out this year. Obviously, it sets you up to maybe get the job next year if Sean Murphy wants more money and wants to go somewhere else, for example, or if or you can ply your trade and try to get somewhere else and get on as a starter somewhere else.
So you're paying Sean Murphy $15 million a year. Diesel, he's only a $73 million contract. $15 million a year is what Sean Murphy's making. On the other hand, Drake Baldwin, at 25 years old, who has a career earnings of $3.3 million, is set – you're laughing, but it's true. He is set to make $800K this year.
God. I'm in my agent's ear saying, get me a signing bonus now.
Right. So you've got a catcher who's not healthy, who's going to come back and be the catcher making $15 million a year. You've got Drake Baldwin, who's like the best catcher in baseball right now, making what a good doctor's making, a good lawyer, right? Maybe a little more, $800K a year. And then you've got Kim, top prospect, coming back. Jonah Heim. They're in a tough situation. To your point there, I don't know what you do long term. I think Walt Weiss will be able to structure it so it works, Diesel, short term. But long term, like Drake Baldwin's going to get a contract.
You've got a cornucopia of talent.
It's a lot.
You can't keep all of it. You can't play all of it. It's not the worst thing to have this much talent in the pitching rotation because it is a rotation. but other positions are not rotations.
Sean Murphy, by the way, 31 years old. So you're going to have some decisions to make as an
Trade
organization.
his geriatric ass.
I don't know, right? I don't know. By the way, speaking of trading, Tom in Somerville brought this up a couple of weeks ago. Austin Riley, man. Diesel, he had one of his best springs of his career in spring training.
Okay.
Austin Riley is 2 of his last 37.
And he's making errors in the field.
What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
2 of his last 37. What do we? I mean, what has gone wrong here?
Like, he's a good hitter, right?
Oh.
He's a really good hitter. So, I mean, obviously you can't just throw the baby out with the bathwater. You have to wait and hope that he turns it back around at the plate.
You would hope. How would you compare this, though, to what Austin Riley's doing right now? To other sports, to other positions, like a point guard in basketball or a quarterback.
He's Con Knippel.
God.
He's Con Knippel in the play-in tournament.
Yeah. I mean, he is 2 of his last, 41 with 14 strikeouts. He's swinging and everything. He is, I think look, I don't know what's happening, but I can tell you this. I think we're getting closer to the Braves having to have a weird, uncomfortable conversation with Austin Riley because the guy just cannot touch the ball. He cannot make contact. Quarterback-wise, though, how bad would it be? What is the equivalent? Josh Allen throwing 20-plus intercept. I don't know. I mean, it is for a superstar type player. I'm not saying Austin Riley's a transcendent superstar kind of guy in the history of the MLB, but this guy is a franchise ball player for the Atlanta Braves. How do you explain it, Diesel? That a player this good, you said it, he's a good hitter. How do you explain that he's been this bad? I don't understand it. And look, I don't want to ever trade Austin Riley. Ever. I love Austin Riley. But I just don't know. At some point, you have to have that conversation. You have to figure something out because it's not like he was doing bad in spring training. He had one of the best spring trainings he's ever had. So it's head-scratching. That's baseball, though, right? It's baseball.
Look, I mean, there are some examples out there. I mean, some of it is age. And it's easiest to point to the age-induced terrible seasons at the end of guys' seasons. But, for example, think about this. When Peyton won the Super Bowl, he was awful that year. Wasn't his accomplishments, and it wasn't his additions to the team that actually won it. So is that a fair comparison? I mean, I know Peyton was old and couldn't turn his neck like Batman couldn't in the first Dark Knight movies.
Yeah.
But that is an example of when he wasn't good. Michael Jordan, when he came back from baseball, and now again, there's a little bit of an excuse. His first season back from baseball, he was terrible. He was terrible that first season back. But he needed time to kind of get it going again. With Austin Riley, it's a big question as to how is this possible. It's not even from season to season. It's preseason to regular season. Insane drop-off.
Yeah, and then you see what's happening like with the quality of competition, right? Diesel in the regular season compared to what you just said in the preseason. He's faced some injuries in the past few years. He had oblique issues, a fractured hand in 2024. He had core surgery in 2025. His bat speed's there. Like everything I'm reading from the experts that are, that know more than I do, his bat speed's still there. It's not like he's lost bat speed, but he is struggling to adjust right now. The breaking pitches, I was reading this morning for whatever reason, specifically sliders down and away. He has just not made the best decisions. High strikeout, high chase whiff rates, poor contact quality. I don't know. I don't know what it is right now, what the fix is, but you've got to figure something out when it comes to the hitting for Austin Riley. How about this, Diesel? Let's transition to big picture. You ready for this? As wild of a start as the Braves have had this year, as good as they've been, I want you to tell me, Diesel, and the Tolos out there at 844-326-3663, which of these is most surprising to you? You ready? Which of these is most surprising to you? The Reds are in first place. The Braves are in first place. The Guardians are in first place. The Athletics are in first place. The Red Sox are in last place. The Royals, who just was in a World Series a couple of years, last place. The Giants, last place. The Astros, last place. New York Mets, want to guess? Last place.
Yeah.
So you talk about not only a weird, good start for the Braves, but look around baseball right now. I mean, how do you explain that?
The funniest one to me, look, any good team can have things go haywire and fall apart on them in the first month of the season. It's still, or month and a half. It's still
early.
Young.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that the Athletics that have been perpetually awful.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to essentially invent a new style of building baseball teams even to find any success, which we're going to get into that a little bit later on in the show, Cole. We're going to talk about ABS and how it's gone over the first month of the season, who's money balling ABS and who should be money balling ABS. But it's fascinating how a team that has been that bad can suddenly show up and be really good just in time for them to move to a new city.
So you're going with the A's is the most surprising there.
Yeah.
They don't even have a home, by the way.
They're playing at an American Legion field.
They don't even have a home. So you look
no disrespect to American Legion.
Right. You look at that division, though. It is wild. The Houston Astros are 11-19. The Angels suck. They're 12-20. The Rangers are average. They're 15-16. Seattle's average, 16-16. And the A's are leading the AL West with a record of 16-14. So it's shocking, to your point.
Whoa, 2 games over 500 leading the division.
It's a bad division right now.
Yowza.
Bad division. So that's shocking. I would agree with you there. New York being in last is shocking. The Giants? How about the Giants being in last?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing in the National League?
The biggest reason the Mets surprise me is the Mets usually come out of the gate white hot, and then they fade down the stretch. That's kind of how the Mets always operate.
They spent $500 million on their roster. Literally, like I'm not joking. $500 million roster is 10-20.
They tried to copy the Dodgers model, and it failed miserably.
They're like, did we use the wrong money? Did we cash the wrong check? Is
what
this
currency?
Yeah.
What currency are we using here? We using dollars or pesos?
Is this monopoly money? In the NL Central, man, like this is weird. It's kind of the most competitive division in baseball right now. Like there's a log jam from first to last. There's only a 4-game lead. Reds, Cubs, Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates. I don't know. That one surprises me a lot, but I will say this. I don't know if I can recall a season in MLB that has had a more weird start, Diesel, than 2026. I mean, the Athletics, like, literally don't even have a home. I think
they actually look athletic. That's what's crazy.
They look athletic, which they have never done in the past, right? No disrespect to our guest from yesterday, Landon Powell, who played for the A's and called a perfect game for the A's. But, my gosh, they've been bad. So, the Braves are in good shape, even though they lost today. To put a summary, to put a bow on this, Diesel, the Braves have played 10 series. They've won 9 and split 1. They've yet to lose a series and have the best record in baseball, all while having half of their arms on the IR. So, look, losing earlier today, not a lot of fun, but my gosh, you've got half your arms on the IR, and it's still early. A lot of baseball to be played. But despite the loss today, still reason to feel good. Let's get on the plane, Diesel. Let's flush it. Let's go to Colorado. And let's beat the heck out of the Rockies. By the way, if you are a Braves fan and you have not heard yet, you have somebody pitching this weekend that you haven't seen in a while. Tomorrow, Diesel, will be Grant Holmes on the mound for the Bravos. Saturday night at 8:10, Chris Sale on the mound for the Braves. And then on Sunday, to close things out for the Braves, at 3:10 p.m., the Clemson Tiger, Spencer Strider, on the mound for the Braves. That is your weekend rotation. So despite the loss, still okay. You won the series, and that's all that matters.
happy birthday to Brian Pettit watching on the stream. It's his birthday, Brian.
Happy birthday, Brian.
Did he say in here, Cole, what birthday it is, Brian?
He didn't. He didn't.
Let us know.
I would bet, though, it's the one that comes once a year. Right? Yeah. But happy birthday, Brian. Happy birthday to you. We do need more birthday shout-outs on the show. We don't have a lot of those. We don't have a lot. We need more birthday shout-outs.
We need to record Dewey singing happy birthday. We have we have Dewey
somewhere
doing happy birthday.
In the archives.
Somewhere. We'll pull that out for you at some point today. Brian Pettit, I can make you a promise of that as long as you Tolo the entire show. That's what we need you to do for you to hear that. Cole, when we come back, let's make a little pivot here, and I'll teach you how you can spell the word dead, L-I-V. That's coming up next.
244 Fan Phone. This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Is LIV Golf alive or is it dead? Well, it seems, Cole, that it's a lot closer to dead than alive. Kind of a zombie right now. It's kind of a walking creature that's not quite alive, not quite dead. This was announced earlier today. Well, it was reported earlier today. The announcement is expected to come at some point today, but it is now official. The Saudi Public Investment Fund will not fund LIV Golf after the 2026 season. It was up in the air, but it is now officially official, Cole. LIV Golf is on life support.
I am in the middle. I'm sorry, I'll get back to you, Diesel. I'm in the middle of texting and emailing the Saudi to see if they would like to sponsor Wire to Wire. Let me get back to you in about 20 minutes, okay? I don't have their
they
number.
Just freed up billions.
That's what I'm
funds.
saying. And I know auto, we do charge a lot, but we don't charge that much. So let me see if they can get a sponsorship deal work. Can you let me know real quick what sponsorable elements on the show? I mean, Tolo Take-Up, what can we get them to sponsor? I know it's dirty money, but it's an endorsement, right?
We're getting them to sponsor some new chairs for the studios. That'd be nice too. So I mean, all of this boils down to the fact, Cole, that LIV Golf is now going to have to operate like every other league in sports, where sponsorships are annual, sponsorships are rolling in the sense to say that, you know, after this season, this sponsor is rolling off and this other sponsor is coming on. They're going to have to sink or swim of their own volition now that the Saudis are taking away just ungodly amounts of money. I had the number here at some point, Cole, and I'll put eyeballs here on it in just a second. But I mean, they had invested tremendous amounts of money, talking about
$1 billion since 2022.
It's insane, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and they've been spending, apparently, they've been spending $100 million a month to fund LIV Golf. Since 2022, they had spent over $5 billion on LIV. And this year, it's been over $100 million a month. I'm curious as to why, right? We still haven't quite heard the why. Not that any of us are sad, not that any of us are crying over the fact that LIV Golf is no more, but the question is why? I mean, did they look at it and say, we're not getting the positive, good vibes about Saudi Arabia that we expected to get off of the tour?
I don't know. I think that is intriguing. But let me set the table here by saying this. I think Diesel has more to do with the Saudis than it does LIV. So look at this. Over the last several weeks, the Saudis have bailed on a Winter Olympics-style sports festival. They've sold one of their best soccer teams, and now LIV, all while shifting their strategy of their multi-billion-dollar investment fund that, like you said, is the payroll for all this. The Saudi investment fund was helmed by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, recently delivered a new strategy. This was his new strategy. I don't know if it was like a change in leadership that spurred this, Diesel, or what. I believe he is new. But they ultimately have a new vision, a new goal, and they've called it Vision 2030, and it is seeking to enhance and overhaul Saudi Arabia's infrastructure and make tourism a more focal point of an oil-based economy. So they want all of us. They want the Tolos, even Dewey, to hop on an airplane and fly to Saudi Arabia and say, hey, look at all these oil fields. Correct. I've already got my tickets. I've ordered mine. I got mine through Spirit Airlines. I don't know if you've ordered yours yet or not.
Good luck.
Didn't they just got a business too, by the way? Didn't Spirit? All kidding aside, I think they did. I think
did
they
they?
did. I saw one of the cheap airlines I thought went bankrupt recently. So I don't know. I think what you said there is the most interesting part, though, of the reasoning as to why they're doing this. I look at it, Diesel, from the LIV Golf perspective, and, okay, you've got new leadership, you've got a new business strategy, but the question for me is that enough? Is that enough? Simply put, you know what I mean? Is your new business strategy enough to keep the sport afloat? I don't know.
This is an interesting prospect here, Cole. Now, I don't know how all of our Tolos feel. We've brought up live golf enough times to know that it is divisive, right? It's very split. There's some people who say it's just a different kind of golf. It's team golf. Enjoy it if you enjoy team golf. Don't watch it if you don't enjoy team golf. There are other Tolos, and I am of this same mindset. I'm sure you are. I think you are as well, that say, we remember exactly what the Saudi royal family funded, and I will never, ever support or watch a league that is funded by the same family that funded that. So that's how I've always felt about it. I'm curious about this, Cole. Are there Tolos, and maybe I'm asking myself this question, will I tune in to watch LIV Golf now for however long it survives if I know that Saudi money is not backing it anymore?
I would probably lean no. Does that mean it can't be a good brand of golf? No. Look, I mean, here's the deal. I do agree with you that I don't like where the money comes from, but I don't know that I would watch anyways. I don't know. It just feels, look, I know this is a bad comparison, but I'm going to go here. I'm not watching the UFL. I'm not. I'm sorry.
True. That's true.
I'm not watching it. I've got the NFL. I love the NFL. And guess what? I love watching the PGA Tour. I do.
LIV Golf might be entertaining if, number one, it can keep the stars that it already has, which it won't, right? We already know that Bryson, Jon Rahm, Cam Smith, some of the other big-time golfers that are on there, they're going to try to get back to PGA golf in some way, shape, or form because that's where the money is. The only way I think LIV could be successful is if it really does form a partnership with the PGA and it allows the best golfers in the world who are playing on the PGA to also play in another format, right? I mean, you've talked about it. Some of our other Tolos have talked about this TGL saying, hey, it's interesting because you've got big name golfers playing in a format that is different from Thursday through Sunday, 4 rounds of golf. It's just an interesting way to do it. Maybe if you could get Rory and Scotty and you know, all the other elite golfers that are on the PGA Tour in a different format, in addition to playing on the PGA Tour, maybe you got something there.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. You know what? Like, I would say this will probably never happen. If they could somehow find a way to work along, not work alongside the PGA Diesel, but like, here's my stance on it. I don't think, as long as the PGA and LIV are doing this, butting heads, going head to head, I don't think it's ever going to work. Now, and when I say work, I don't mean it can't exist, because it exists. It has for 5 years now.
The DP World Tour is doing just fine without Scotty Scheffler.
It is. You're right. I do believe at some point the money that was invested is going to catch up to them. I don't know if they'll be able to do it on their own. And I also think that there's now that you've lost the Saudi money, Diesel, before we go to the phone lines, I think now there's going to be a lot of golfers who are really considering and thinking about, hey, am I in the right spot?
More on that in just a second. We've got some information on that very question about PGA golfers or former PGA golfers and current LIV golfers maybe coming back to the PGA. Okay. We'll get to that after we hear from Matt from Ohio, batting lead off as far as callers go today. Matt from Ohio, what's on your mind?
Hey, guys. Good afternoon. I just wanted to chime in on this LIV thing. So you kind of need to understand, and I'm sure you guys do, the history of, the appearance fee money. Greg Norman back in the 80s was, the number one golfer in the world, but he was from Australia, and he had always had axe to grind with the PGA Tour over the minimum number of events he had to play in. And also the European Tour at that time was paying appearance fees. So a lot of this thing, LIV, has been the brainchild of Greg Norman, with really, I think, the burden or the grudge that he carried from the PGA Tour in the mid 80s. you have to look at these things as a business, and the business model is just not sustainable. I mean, I think this, and, not to get into the political part of it, but I think this was completely about the Saudis trying to buy credibility. I think the golfers that went over there, they needed to be honest, and some of them were. I think about like Harold Varner, who's kind of a local guy here, and he kind of said it was about the money. Golf is a game that places a lot of emphasis on etiquette, but also history. And I think that's what you're seeing a lot of these guys. One of the reasons why we love Augusta is because they play it there every year, and you remember when this guy hit this shot, and the LIV Golf. What was the goal? You really don't get world ranking points, and it's not a segue to the PGA Tour. What were they playing? What were they ever playing for other than
a guaranteed paycheck? Yeah, a guaranteed paycheck.
So, it was, and I think everybody. I don't think anybody was naive enough. I mean, you had some of these guys saying, "Oh, it's more time to be with my family," and hey, listen, I don't begrudge those guys. If my employer said, "Hey, you can work less and make way more and spend more time with your family," I would probably jump all over it too. But I guess from a historical standpoint, they need to understand that, when you go down that road, there is a sacrifice to be made. And that sacrifice is, probably for a lot of these guys going to be their place in history.
Good point, Matt. Question for you. I want to pass this along from Corn Chip, one of our listeners who texted in. I want to see if you want to get in on this. He says, let's start a GoFundMe and buy a golf league. Can we all throw some money into a pot and try to buy a piece of LIV?
Yeah, that'll work.
Well, I'm not opposed to us starting the Tolo, Thursday night golf league.
There you go.
Like that, but I'm not going to pay. We're not going to do. We couldn't do it. We couldn't do it during the show hours.
That's right.
But if we want to have a Tolo golf outing, I'm all for it.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, there's a par 3 right there on 385 that's got lights. I'm just saying, we can go after the show's over.
We could I used to play a lot of slow pitch softball. We always called the game under the lights the West Coast game. We'll do the West Coast Golf League there.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt.
Appreciate you. Good question there, Corn Chip. Can we start a GoFundMe and buy up a golf league? Now, back to your question earlier, Cole, about the players who did not take the returning players program offer, which was like $5 million and forfeiting a bunch of money on top of that. There are a couple guys like Bryson DeChambeau, like John Rahm, and like Cam Smith who qualified for that returning members program. That those are the guys that the PGA will want to have back. And now Brian Rolap, the CEO of the PGA, said in the Wall Street Journal, we're interested in having the best players who can help our tour. Not every player can do that. So that is a very clear message as far as I'm concerned to say, hey, if you're a star, if you have been a star on the PGA Tour before, maybe we'll work something out to get you back. But otherwise, sorry, pal, we don't want you.
Well, I think what it does two things. Number one, when LIV Golf started Diesel, it was like a flashy new toy, it was that.
It was a disruptor, for sure.
It was like that spinnerbait coming through the water up to the bank, right? It was flashy. The chatterbait.
Dan B loves chatterbaits.
He does. But here's the thing. Here's what's changed. Then you had PGA Tour golfers who were considering and did move over to LIV. I think where LIV starts to see the downfall is, I don't think now and going forward in the immediate future, Diesel, you'll see that where PGA golfers are now interested in LIV. I think the shine has not only worn off, but now that this Saudi money has fell through, I would be shocked if you, over the next let's say LIV lasts 5 more years, I'd be shocked of how, if I saw many PGA golfers leave. You set the over-under on how many you think it might be. But let's say LIV lasted 5 more years on their own financial standards. You telling me PGA golfers are still going to go over there and be interested in LIV? I don't think so.
Not one.
No, I don't think so. So how do you – I guess my thing is, how do you grow it to where you want to be able to competitively compete with the PGA Tour? Like the reason you exist now, not only because of the Saudis, but because you had PGA guys that left the PGA Tour to come to you. That's not going to happen anymore.
No,
so,
I mean,
good luck.
Yeah, but here's the problem. They essentially have 6 months to find $1 billion. If they want to continue to fund this thing to the same level that the Saudis were funding this thing at $100 million a month, that's $1.2 billion that they have to shake out of the couch cushions in the next 6 months before the next LIV Tour starts.
Where do you find that kind of money at?
You don't. I mean, like, who do you know that is willing? Because the type of people who have that kind of money, Cole, got that kind of money because they're not stupid, right? Now the Saudi investment fund was willing to spend it because they had an agenda. But if you're Jeff Bezos, if you're Mark Zuckerberg or whoever the richest people on earth are, most of them, I'm sure we don't even know their names. If you have that kind of money, you're not going to throw $500 million at LIV when you believe that it is a failing business model. It's an investment that they want to make money on, not something they just want to get the public notoriety and recognition of throwing $500 million away at this thing.
No, I'm with you. It's going to be interesting. It feels like this time last year, Diesel, when Limestone College up in Gaffney shut down, and they said, hey, we need like millions of dollars in 4 days. It was like, oh, well, where are you going to get millions in 4 days? Good luck, right? They shut down.
Let me start a bake sale.
Right. Yeah, let's go sell lemonade. It feels similar to that. That was like a year ago almost exactly. I don't know what happens. I just don't know cash flow-wise how they keep up. It just seems like it's a insurmountable task, I guess, when you talk about the amount of money that was being pumped in every month. Like you're not going to find many investors that have that kind of capital. That's a lot. So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting, Diesel.
Especially one that has a stink on it from having been funded by the Saudis.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just not a
good
good
we'll
look,
see. We'll continue to follow it, Tolos. It is very interesting to see LIV on the downfall. Hey, let's go to Twitter, Diesel. What am I arguing about on Twitter regarding a guest we had on yesterday and the Gamecocks? Why am I bringing this to the airwaves? Well, I want to know what you think out there, Tolos. I want to know what you think, Diesel. A account on Twitter that has put out a tier list for the next potential Gamecock baseball coaching targets. I disagreed with this tier list. We're going back and forth. What do you think of this account's tier list? We'll dive into it. Gamecock baseball tier list on Twitter because that matters next.
Text or call. One number does it all.
844-326-3663.
That's 844-FAN-PHONE. This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Well, Diesel, here pretty soon, Jeremiah Donati's going to have to hire a baseball coach when the baseball season does come to an end. And it's that time of year where Gamecock baseball fans are checked out, right? He's done, and or they're done. Stick a fork in them, and fan accounts on Twitter are ranking potential Gamecock baseball coaching targets in tiers, with a Grand Slam tier, a home run tier, a tier, a B tier, a C tier, and a D tier, and an F tier.
Ooh.
And by the way, this one fan account, the Sarge Daily, who I'm going back and forth with on X, has 23 candidates. Here's my problem.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah, right. So here's the problem. Problem number one. Sarge Daily has Landon Powell as D tier, almost F tier. Problem number two.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Problem number two. We're acting like a fan-ran account on X has or understands what the hiring process looks like from a tier perspective. When you've got 23 names on this list, like Skylar Meade and Dan McConnell and Justin Parker and Tom Walter, things like when you add this many, it kind of becomes diluted a little bit. So, Diesel, where do you stand on this? I responded back and said having Landon Powell as D tier is laughable. He said, for a program on the edge of no return, I beg to differ. He's done great things there and is a great coach, but when you have great options that have proved themselves at the Division I level, then I'm sorry, I'm not putting him any higher. I responded with, but here's the problem. You think there are a lot of great options out there. That's very subjective. You or I don't know what the options are. It's still an attractive job, but it's not the job. I also said, do you know the North Greenville roster and what it's looked like over the past 8 years? How many D1 players have been on those rosters? And if you think Landon won a natty at the D2 level, do you think he could win with the resources at South Carolina? He said, all I'm saying is he's far from my favorite or the top option. Sorry if you would disagree with that.
Let me dismiss all the facts that you just put out there because I just don't believe that he's a great option.
Great option, dear T. That's how some Gamecock fans out there, Diesel, are thinking when it comes to Landon Powell, who let me give my opinion. I don't have any inside knowledge on this. I don't think will be the next head baseball coach of South Carolina. Jeremiah Donati is going to have his hands full when it comes to finding the right one. But the fact that some of these people out there, that's why they're fans, think Landon Powell should fall on a D tier list is laughable to me.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine with him saying, what was his second tier down, the B tier?
He had a Grand Slam tier. He had a home run tier. He had a tier, a B tier, a C tier. So a lot of tiers.
So isn't A tier the same thing as a Grand Slam?
Stairway to heaven.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. If you wanted to put Landon Powell in your second tier, okay, that tracks. That makes sense. I mean, he's an amazing coach at North Greenville. 436, 145, and 1. He's won 75%. 3 out of 4 baseball games he has won. And we have seen, Cole, a great example of this is Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer won at every level he was at. Now, if some fan wants to knock Landon Powell for not wanting to move and to move his family every 3 years, chasing that ladder, that next rung on the ladder, that's just frankly obtuse, right? You can't look at it that way. We used to reward guys and think highly of guys who grew where their feet were planted. And Landon Powell has done that. And you could say he's grown about as much as he can. And if he's happy there, fine. Landon's happy up in Tigerville, have a great time, win D2 national championships. But as a South Carolina fan, to not have your eye on him, that's ludicrous.
It is. And, my whole thing is, look, number one, I believe Landon Powell is very happy where he's at. I do. I believe his family's happy where they are. His son plays at Blue Ridge High School. He's got family here in the upstate. They love the upstate. So I believe they are happy where they at, number one. I believe, number two, there are a few jobs out there that would be attractive to Landon because of them being so happy where they're at, Diesel, kind of like you just said. South Carolina, is one of those few jobs from what I've been told, and, that's no surprise. But to assume, as a Gamecock fan, that you have all these other great options out there is just mind-boggling to me. You don't know how many great options are out there. But guess what? You're going to have a few options. I don't know that you'll have 23 options. I don't know that you'll have 15 good options.
It's like he went on ChatGPT and said, hey, can you think of any and all possibility and give me that list?
Right.
Those lists get whittled down real quick when ADs start making phone calls.
My last thing I'll say, I don't got to run to a break. I just think it's comical. Well, he's never coached D1. Well, you want to see him prove it. Look, a good coach is a good coach. And if he won a national title at the Division II level, what do you think he could do with the resources at South Carolina? What do you think he could do with those kind of resources? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal question. Age-old question. What can a lower-tier program or a lower-tiered coach do once they finally get all the resources that they've never had? We'll maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't. But I'm sure the debate's going to keep on raging on Twitter. Tolos, when we come back, let's jump back into a baseball conversation. I found this article on MLB.com, and it's fascinating, Cole, as we are now about a month in to using ABS. Which teams are weaponizing it in the best possible ways? That's next. Well, Cole, we're going to get into Major League Baseball, specifically some of the data that's coming out now that we're a month into the season and a month into using ABS. But before we go off the rails, let's go to the captain of the crazy train and bring in Rick in Greer, who wants to talk Panthers, but he's not entirely sure what he wants to talk about. Rick, hello.
Hey, I don't know what I want to talk about. I got a lot on my mind. I want to know, are y'all going to be out at Ingles this week?
Yeah. What's today, Rick? What day is it right now?
Oh, it's Thursday. I done missed you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, do we ever go to Ingles on Fridays, Rick?
Yes, you have been.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't, Rick.
Cole has. He does the Friday. He did the Saturday.
Saturday Scramble. Is Friday the same thing as Saturday?
I think so. I think keep up with anything.
It's true. If you never go to sleep Friday night, it's still Friday.
Yeah, whatever you say, Rick.
Like them Atlanta Braves. They lost today.
They suck again.
Yeah.
They suck again. But I really want us to go. I'll buy the tickets for 10 people if y'all will go with some Tolos. I'll buy the ticket if you find rides.
What
To
go
the
where?
Braves games?
To the Braves.
Oh, okay.
You're going to buy 10 Braves tickets.
I will buy 10 Braves tickets.
What about
They will
20
be-
Braves tickets? Would you buy 20 Braves tickets?
I will buy 20 if we can sit in the outfield.
Sit in the outfield.
Half price, yeah.
Rick, I just don't know what to believe that you say. No offense. Not saying you're lying. I would never call you a liar.
So if I bring the 20 tickets over to you for a future game and leave them with you, will you get some Tolos up?
Yes.
And we'll go?
Yeah. But you don't have to do 20. Just do 10.
How about 30, Rick? Can we get
God.
30?
Look, I'm not pulling scratch-offs anymore, okay?
No more scratch-offs. Are you underwater? Does it just
Where
be
are
diesel?
you,
Yeah, it
Rick?
sounds like
Yeah.
you're underwater.
I'm in my pool.
Oh, so it sounds like somebody's bumping music out there.
He's in his pool.
Yeah, we listening to music, drinking a few cold, whatever.
Road sodas. Yeah.
What are you listening to, Rick?
More bounce to the elm. You ever heard that? That is, I forget who it is. Look at it. More bounce to the elm.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
We'll look it up. We'll do it right now.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank
Goodness
What did he say?
gracious.
More what?
More bounce to the ounce.
Dear God. I don't even know what that means.
I think you do know what it means.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like it's like that old saying.
Yeah.
More cushion for the pushing.
Okay,
So to
okay.
speak. Yeah. Hey, I give it to Rick for the rhyme. there.
yeah.
By the way, for what it's worth, Tolos, next week the show is going to be live on Wednesday at the Ingles Markets at 2000 South Pine Street in Spartanburg.
Ooh.
But you will not be there, Cole, because you're leaving us.
This was bad. Yeah, like not for good, not like forever, right?
Yeah, temporarily.
Temporarily.
Just for a week.
I am upset that the one time I think this is yours and my first time at the Pine Street location in Spartanburg, and the show is coming to the Spartanburg Ingles on the east side, and I'm going to be in Nicaragua, so I will be leaving you by yourself next week, Diesel, in good hands, but I am very
You're gonna leave me with
envious.
Dewey.
You
I
and
can't
Dewey.
believe you would do this.
Yeah, I do have it coordinated, even though I'll be out of the country next week. I've got it coordinated. Dewey's coming in to co-host with you all week.
Yes.
So
Honestly, I'm down. Dewey, if you're down, I'm down. Dewey is doing a lot of drive-bys lately. He popped on the stream at 3:21, said the Cubs suck. So he was going after Dan B.
Yeah.
He's going after Bing Bong. And then he just disappears. He says Cubs suck and disappears.
And by the way, Tolos, don't forget 1 hour from now, the Tolo Takeover.
Yep.
Can't wait to hear from you.
Yep.
Rick might be like halfway gone by then, the way he sounds right now. You just never know, right? You never know.
More bounce for your ounce. I've never heard that before.
That's what I'm saying, man. You just
Oh
don't know how to
God.
respond to like Dewey and Rick. What do you say? How do you
Yeah.
respond?
It's hard, man. It's hard. Every day, you never know what you're going to hear coming out of those guys' mouths. Okay, now we have to pivot back somehow. We have to get our heads screwed on straight, pivot back to the topic. Major League Baseball, Cole, ABS, now about a month old. Here's some of the numbers that, baseball is full of incredibly pedantic fans. Like, these are the fans that know what a batter is hitting on Tuesdays when it's raining, on the third day of a road trip when they're wearing their alternate uniforms. Like, they know these kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of fan base. We're a month in to using ABS. And if you had to guess, Cole, how many percentage-wise, just keep it simple, percentage-wise, what percentage of pitches are being challenged by hitters?
All right. I'm not looking at the article.
Nope.
Pure guess. A month and a half in.
This is something that proponents or longtime fans of the game said it's going to be out of control. They're going to be reviewing every single pitch.
Okay, that helped me a little bit. That was a good hint. So
Okay.
I'm not going to guess near 50 now since you said that. I'm going to guess 29% of pitches are being challenged.
Well, that's incredibly far off.
Okay.
Incredibly far off. 1%. Only 1% of
No.
all pitches. Yeah.
No.
Only 1% of all pitches are being challenged. You got to consider not every pitch is challengeable. If it's an obvious ball or an
Only
obvious strike,
1%.
nobody is gonna challenge it. If it's a foul ball, no one's gonna challenge it unless
Sure.
it's like the foul tip off of what was it, Ozzie Albies yesterday that was called out on a foul tip that like barely caught the bat, or I think it was Ozzie, but I'm not sure.
Only 1% though. Wow.
Yeah, only
Okay.
1%. And it's creating some fun moments for the fans. They're loving it, especially when your team wins a challenge, the
Sure.
crowd loses their minds, and it's been a lot of fun. Well, they're starting to get enough data here, Cole, where they can start to look at the numbers, the teams that are successfully using the challenge and teams that are not successfully using the challenge. And there's a couple different ways to look at this. Part of it is strategy from the manager. Do they want you to be aggressive? Do they not want you to be aggressive? And so this is turning out into some fun ways. If you look at combined batting and fielding, the Arizona Diamondbacks are the best team in Major League Baseball when it comes to successfully challenging calls. 63% of the time, they're right. So the Diamondbacks, Cardinals, and Reds are at 62%. The Tigers and Royals are at 61%. That is a lot higher than I expected the challenge success rate to be.
No, I'm with you. That's pretty good. You said, who was the number one?
Arizona
Diamondbacks. And it's 60 plus. It's a 60 plus win rate. So that's pretty good, which is wild considering the fact that a new technology introduced to the sport, Diesel, sometimes could, take a little warming up to get used to, but it doesn't seem like there's like spring training the past couple of years, we've seen it. So I guess players, catchers have had the opportunity to warm up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked Landon Powell yesterday when he caught in the big leagues for the A's for a few years, I asked him what he would have thought about ABS, and he said, I think I would have loved it. So the fact that the players, and this is what I do like about the MLB and what they're doing in recent years, Diesel, they're allowing the players to have more say, more input, because just like Coach Powell said yesterday, at the end of the day, we're all getting paid millions of dollars to be out here and to do our job, and we all want to do our job successfully and correctly, and if we are giving ourselves tools to help ourselves be better, then why not? So I think what I think is fascinating, number one, that a team like Arizona is doing it so well. I do also think it's going to be interesting to see how that trend continues over the next few years. Do catchers just get better? I mean, Diesel, when you do something a lot, you get better at it. Do teams get better?
You got to assume that umpires will get better at calling balls and strikes. I mean, what Landon, I think his direct quote was, I know what the strike zone is. I know what's a ball and what's a strike. And the umpire, they are in an elevated position about 3 feet back from where the catcher's glove is actually making contact with the ball. So I understand why they're making the mistakes that they're making. I think the success rate is going to get better over time as
from the player.
From the player, yeah, and I think it'll make umpires better as well, because the umpire prior to this season was sure that he was getting the call right. I mean, he's calling a ball because he thinks it was a ball. He's calling a strike because he knows that it was a strike. He knows that it was a ball. And how often are we seeing that these guys are actually wrong? So, I mean, it stands to reason that if you've got somebody essentially grading you in real time, whether you're right or wrong, then you will get more accurate over time. You have no choice but to get better.
It is interesting from this standpoint. If the umpires get better, you said right now around 1% of pitches are being challenged. Is that right? Around
Correct.
1%?
Correct.
So, okay, if we take that data and say 5 years, in the next 5 years, we believe umps will get better at calling balls and strikes, will we see that 1% dip? Because it's new, it's a very low number to begin with already, but if the umpires are doing a better job of calling it, you would assume that there's not going to be as many challenges. Right? So if the umps are getting better, there's not as many challenges, there's not as many situations in the game. Here's what I just don't know, though. The difference is this. Like Landon said yesterday, if you're a catcher out there, you've probably been catching since you were playing baseball at a young age.
10 years old.
10 years, around that. You caught in middle school. You caught all the way through high school. You caught in college, and now you're catching in the pros, most likely, right?
Yep.
You are seeing, even though an umpires a lot, you're seeing a tremendous amount of more pitches. Going back to Landon's point, a catcher knows what a ball and strike is. He's doing it every day, multiple times, sometimes hundreds of times a day. He knows what it is. Oh, and by the way, he's calling the pitch. Think about it from that aspect, too. He's calling the pitch, so he's going to be pretty close to knowing. Now, I'm not saying that things aren't going to happen. There's not room for error. I just don't know if the umpire, what I'm getting at is, could the umpire get better? I think so with ABS, but I don't know that the umpire will ever get to the skill level where the catcher is.
I don't know. I don't know how much time Major League Baseball home plate umpires spend.
Right. How much are they practicing?
Working on a simulator, right? On a simulator, in practices, in training opportunities. How much time are they spending training on what's a ball and what's a strike? You said it. Catchers catch thousands and thousands of pitches a season.
Thousands a week, probably.
In games and practices, etc. All of the above. They catch a ton of pitches. And the umpires have to get better, because this is essentially on the job, real life training. What's going to be fascinating is 5 years from now, 10 years from now, is ABS going to essentially render itself obsolete? Because pitchers, catchers, and home plate umpires will get so good that you rarely see it used in the home plate scenario. You may still use it in other scenarios, but
that's a good
are
question.
they going to use it less?
You'd like to think so, but you've still got human error.
Yeah.
Right? And as good as I want to be at my job, as good as you want to be at your job, as good as the best of the world, as good as they are, they still make mistakes because we are human. I'd like to think so. I'd like to think so that years from now it's not used near as much, and it's not even a talking point. We're not even talking about it on local radio shows, but I just don't know. I don't know that the human error aspect will ever allow it to become obsolete. I think as long as humans are back there making that initial call. Now, maybe that's the question you ask. One day, way down the road, will humans still be behind home plate umpiring? You may say, well, Cole, they've got to be. But then 20 years ago, you wouldn't have thought we'd have ABS, right? So I don't know. I think it's a fair question to ask. And, we just go add 20 years on to 2026.
So some more numbers for you here. The Diamondbacks' 63% success rate was batting and fielding, as in pitchers, catchers, and hitters. If you want to break that down a little bit, you can look at just hitters. The Royals are the number one team in Major League Baseball. They're right 64% of the time when they challenge pitchers. The Marlins and the Nationals are all the way at the very bottom as the worst when it comes to getting calls overturned with the tap of the helmet. If you look at just pitchers and catchers, the Tigers are at 86%. So there you go. Like you just said, pitchers and catchers know what's a ball and what's a strike.
That's insane. 86%.
86% correct.
Wow.
And again, we're a month into using this thing. The White Sox, on the other hand, they're terrible at it. They're only 42% correct.
Well, shocker. The White Sox, I mean, right. My goodness.
Some players here who are particularly great and particularly terrible at it. Among hitters who have challenged at least 5 times so far this season, Xander Bogaerts is 6-1. Apologies, because I don't know what team Xander Bogaerts plays for. But on the opposite side of that coin, Jazz Chisholm, he's 1 for 6.
Jazz,
he's terrible at this.
Xander's with the Padres, I think now. I think so. I believe
if
that's
you
right.
want to dig into it, this story is this article is about a week and a half old. Our guest from Monday had an article about this. Lindsey Crosby wrote about this himself back on April 10th. You can go find that. But the article from MLB.com, that one is fresh and brand new. So the MLB.com article obviously has a little more data on it than the Lindsey Crosby article. But here's what's interesting about this. The Braves have the number 1 record in baseball, yet they are middle of the pack when it comes to getting calls overturned correctly. Yeah. So it's going to take some more time to figure out, who is the absolute best and weaponizing this in the best possible way. But you don't have to be among the best at challenging calls to be among the best teams in baseball.
No, you don't. And I think that'll be a fun experiment to look at over the next few years, Diesel. How does that correlation exist, right? The numbers you just read off, the numbers you just gave of the teams in the Major League Baseball, Diesel, that are the best at it and the worst at it, how do those numbers correlate with the best teams in baseball? Will we see a I don't know that we will. I'll predict we will. I will predict we'll never really see a correlation between the best teams at ABS and the best teams in baseball, because the best teams in ABS are challenging 1-2 calls a game, and 1-2 calls a game most of the time don't dictate the outcome of the game. Most of the time.
Now, mentioned earlier that the Diamondbacks combined batting and fielding are the best team in baseball when it comes to challenging. They're 3 games over 500. They're 16-13. So being great at challenging calls doesn't necessarily make you a great baseball team. Now, Cole, it gave me a headache trying to read this full article because the author goes into the value that you could possibly gain, as in potential runs earned per game based on every challengeable pitch over the course of a game. And like my eyes roll back in my head. It's like, I don't know what they're saying here, but if you're that kind of person that can understand Greek like that, go check out the article because that side of it could be fascinating if you can understand it.
I love it. Let's talk Gamecock baseball. Let's ask John Whittle what he thinks of these tier lists from the Gamecock fans on Twitter. What does Jeremiah Donati mean by an evaluation phase? Let's talk Gamecocks. John Whittle of the Big Spur next, right here on the Fan Upstate.
Sound off now at 844-FAN-PHONE.
This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
Well, we are entering turn 4 of the college baseball season, maybe starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But for the Gamecocks, they have to find the tunnel before they can find the light. To talk Gamecock baseball, we talked to John Whittle of the Big Spur. John, thank God, group chats from Twitter streams and Twitter chats do not decide who the next Gamecock baseball coach will be. We were doing a look around Twitter earlier in the show at some tier lists that are out there. What is the most laughable thing that you've seen on Twitter, John, thus far this year when it comes to who might be the next head baseball coach at South Carolina?
Well, I would say it's probably best to stay off of Twitter and not read some of those things. That's what I've tried to do. I don't know how many outlandish things I've seen. I would say the dumbest scenario is say pick Coach X, whoever that may be, and give him a prove it kind of deal, whether it's a Monty Lee or a Landon Powell or somebody else, somebody way out there. Just give him a prove it deal. Give him low NIL and don't pay him hardly any salary and tell him to go out there and win games. And if they win, they win, and if they don't, we'll just do this again in a couple of years. Like that's the worst stuff I've seen. Like that's the worst to me.
So John, I mean, you got to think at some point Jeremiah Donati has to start whittling down his list. He has to start vetting and making his phone calls. Do you have any idea if there's any movement in the process beginning that, or is Jeremiah Donati not even thinking about the fact that he's got to hire a baseball coach?
We're getting close. So we're getting close to the point where he starts to kind of get out into the water some. I would still say that he's in the ankle deep section of the ocean right now, and he'll start getting out a little bit further here pretty soon. But I mean he's doing what he can from behind the scenes in terms of interacting with the agents and doing that stuff, going through the vetting process of some names that are of interest. But, at the end of the day, like most of these guys that you would want are, deep into their seasons and trying to compete for jockey for spots in the NCAA tournament and national seeds and all that good stuff. So, there's only so much that can be done right now, but we're not far away. We're not far away from the process really kind of kicking in.
We're talking Gamecocks with John Whittle of the Big Spur. John, for those out there listening in Spartanburg, Greenville, or Anderson today that may not know what it looks like, and I understand you're not in every room, in every conversation, but can you provide some insight on what it does look like for an athletic director to go through this search beginning to end in terms of how many people he asks their opinion? Because he's the AD. He's going to want to get some input, right? Who are those people AD talks to at South Carolina to get opinions on when it comes to the baseball coach, that kind of stuff?
Well, that's a great question. And if this were a year ago, I could give you a much better answer. But we are here with Jeremiah Donati. Well, I guess 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
We're here now with Jeremiah Donati is the athletics director. And this is not his first hire, but his first what we would consider around these parts is major hire, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly how he's going to go through this in terms of how many people he wants to talk to. We do know that he's hiring a search firm, and there are various uses for those things, but he is hiring a search firm to assist. I feel certain that he is going to talk to some to some people in the college baseball world or in the baseball world that he trusts, and he obviously has a deep Rolodex, if people still use those. I don't know if half your listeners even know what a Rolodex is, but he has a deep list of contacts from his time in the agent world to talk to those folks and gather their thoughts on who the up and comers are, who might be willing to move, and all of those kind of things. So there's certainly a lot that goes into it, even right now, but certainly as we get a little bit closer to time. But as far as how Jeremiah Donati operates, I'm going to learn a lot about that throughout this coaching search, and because this is kind of the first big one that he's gone through. He's hired a volleyball coach and a beach volleyball coach, and so he's gone through the hiring process a little bit here, but nothing that's particularly high profile. So I feel like I'll learn a little bit as we go through this, just about him and how he wants to operate.
John, a quick follow-up to that. How was Ray Tanner's decision-making process? You spent a lot of time with him as the AD in terms of talking to other people. Was he one that did get a lot of opinions, or was he one that really kept it close to the vest?
He tried to keep things close to the vest, but he also he would talk to people that he trusts about candidates that he liked. He would figure out kind of who he liked, and then he would dive as deep as he could on those folks. And I don't know that he necessarily cast a wide enough net in all of his coaching searches. Sometimes it was really broad. Like when it came time to replace Steve Spurrier, like I feel like he talked to too many folks. But then there are times where I feel like he kind of focused on was kind of too narrow in his focus. But that was kind of his process for him, was he figured out what direction he felt like he wanted to go in, and then he talked to people as close as he could to those folks to get a good feel for that coach's personality, how he would fit, strengths and weakness, all of those kind of things that you would go about when vetting a candidate for any type of job.
John Whittle of the Big Spur joining us here on Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson. Anybody watching on the stream sees that I have a Rolodex right here in the studio. How about that? We put
You're old.
Our guest phone numbers on this thing. I had to blow the dust off of it to be able to pick it up off the shelf. But tomorrow, South Carolina begins a series at LSU. Do you know if Paul Maneri is going to be there, and what color hat might he be wearing?
We have not heard. I've tried to sniff around a little bit to see if anybody's heard whether he's going to be there or not, and I know everybody says I don't know. Most have wagered that he would not show up, that he would not come to the game. I kind of felt like if South Carolina were rolling, he would not come, and if South Carolina if South Carolina were rolling, that he would not come, and if South Carolina were stumbling a little bit, then he might be more apt to show up and say, hey, guess what? It wasn't that bad under me, huh? But no, I don't know. I don't know. With South Carolina coming off the loss to the Citadel on Tuesday, and I don't know what he's going to do.
Should we text him, John?
Well, I do know that a few of the media folks around Columbia have reached out to Paul and wanted to talk to him, and he's declined each of those overtures. So, he did invite me to spend the weekend at his house, but I declined that opportunity.
You declined. That was, yeah. I'm sure that was a big decision to make. What do you make of the Citadel game, John? I mean, look, at this point in the season, we're not using a microscope to examine every game with the Gamecocks anymore because we kind of know who they are. You are what you are. But a Citadel team that has gotten better under their new coach in the past couple of years. Did you see anything there that really surprised you, or were you kind of in line with everybody else in the fact of, we kind of knew what we knew already, so it really didn't shock you much?
Pretty much that, the latter. I will say, Citadel had an RPI better than that of the Gamecocks going into that game. So, I mean, that alone right there just kind of tells you where things stand. I mean, I know the Citadel improved their record to 500 with that win on Tuesday. They're 22-22 going into the weekend. And Carolina's 22-24, but Citadel had a higher RPI than the Gamecocks going into that weekend. Won both of the games this season fairly convincingly, and 3 hit the Gamecocks, and just a bad day. I mean, Citadel probably could have had more. I mean, they had 11 hits in the game, played error-free ball and good defense. I mean, it just kind of is what it is at this point. You're kind of hoping to rally some, and in some ways you have. Some ways you did. I mean, you've won some games here lately, and have opportunities to win a few more. I mean, LSU is actually behind South Carolina in the SEC standings, and Vanderbilt's not that far ahead, and heck, Alabama's not even that far ahead. So, there's still an opportunity to win some games, but at the same time, when under Monty, they've lost to the Citadel and College of Charleston, so maybe they need to quit playing teams from down there in the Low Country.
John, what kind of expectations or scouting can you give us for this upcoming series against LSU? They're a team that can score a bunch of runs, but they can't really stop anybody from scoring either. I mean, they're a team that'll put up 8 or 9 runs, but somehow always find a way to give up 10 or 11. Any hope in your mind of the Gamecocks at least taking one or maybe taking the series this weekend?
Well, and they're bad defensively, so that doesn't help your pitching staff either. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be. I mean, I think this is the type of opponent that South Carolina probably matches up a little bit better than, right? Like, you're pretty weak offensively if you're the Gamecocks, and going up against a pitching staff that's just not very good. Like, I feel like you've got an opportunity to potentially get a good start or two from your pitchers and kind of quiet their offense and give your offense an opportunity to go out there and score a few runs, right? Like, I mean, that's what Kentucky was. Like, if you look back at Kentucky, like they were a team that just wasn't very good from a pitching standpoint. And South Carolina went out there and put together some good at-bats and put up enough runs. And Kentucky wasn't very good defensively. And the Wildcats made some errors and helped the Gamecocks out a little bit. And that was kind of the winning recipe. And this LSU team, while much more talented than what this Gamecocks team is, they're playing not very good baseball, and their strengths and South Carolina's strengths, I think line up a little bit to where this series can be a little bit more competitive. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me a bit if South Carolina gets swept, but I might be driving back from Baton Rouge on Sunday night, and with having written a couple of stories where South Carolina is victorious. So it wouldn't really surprise me. At the end of the day, when you're coming to the end of the season and there's not really much, if anything, to play for, other than a little bit of personal pride. Like, you never really know how those games are going to go, and that's kind of where both of these teams are.
John, I'm sure we'll talk about this a lot more over the next few weeks and month, but as Jeremiah Donati is starting to get ankle deep in the water somewhere, do you imagine he sees this job more attractive than he thought, less attractive than he initially thought? Because I don't know what his familiarity level was with South Carolina's baseball program when he was in Texas, but what do you think he's starting to find out in terms of how attractive this job is at South Carolina?
Well, I think it's a pretty attractive job, and he kind of mentioned that on Tuesday night. The amount of people he's heard from and that are interested, and of course, interest doesn't mean would 100% accept. But from talking to the people in the baseball world that I know, I mean, it's still a very popular job. Does it have the same standing as it did 10 years ago? No. Is it viewed as a tough job? In some ways, yeah, probably. But at the end of the day, like, South Carolina's top 10 in the country in operating budget. They've got to be close to that in NIL funding. I mean, there's a lot of things about this job that are very good and a very big deal for college baseball coaches. And is it upper echelon? Is it top of the peak like it used to be? Like, no, but it's one that is still incredibly attractive. And South Carolina should not have to go down the list of too far with coaches telling them no. Like, there's gonna be a yes without getting too far down that list.
John, do you believe that the next head coach at South Carolina currently has a South Carolina area code attached to his phone number?
If you told me Kevin Schnall or the field, I would probably take Schnall. Now that being said, I'm certainly not promising anything like that. I'm not. I think he's interested. I think South Carolina is very interested in him. I think there's probably a deal to be done, but South Carolina is also the only job that's open right now. And we'll kind of see how it plays out. I mean, I was asked about that yesterday or 2 days ago on thebigspur.com, and that's the message I shared was that if that I feel like it's right now as we sit here today on April 30th. I feel like that's where it would probably go, but there's a long time between now and whenever that coach gets hired.
John, always appreciate your time. Great job, and we look forward to talking to you soon as this continues to develop.
Absolutely appreciate you guys. Y'all take care.
You too. That is John Whittle of the Big Spur talking Gamecocks baseball. He said that was interesting there what he said about Kevin Schnall. He'd take Kevin Schnall over the field. And, what I find interesting, Diesel, is Kevin Schnall was real close in talks with Tennessee last year.
Mm-hmm.
So the interest with Schnall on an SEC job, you can already put that out there and say it's there because he was almost the Tennessee head baseball coach this year, right?
And just the fact that he's interested in other opportunities away from Coastal Carolina. It's his alma mater. He loves it. He spent a lot of time there, but he is willing to essentially jump ship very quickly.
Yeah, and look, Josh Elander was the club favorite in Knoxville, so we're not surprised that he got that job. But what I find, on that note of what you just said, what I find funny sometimes is this. People say, oh, he's a Coastal, and I've seen this lately on Twitter. People say, oh, he's a Coastal guy. He has no reason to leave. Some people aren't wired that way. Some people are. But what people have to understand is just because somebody's a Coastal guy doesn't mean he doesn't want to continue to be the best version of himself. You're from somewhere. I'm from somewhere. You went to a high school and a college. I went to a high school and a college. Guess what?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we have to stay there forever. So Kevin Schnall, he has had success at Coastal. It doesn't feel like too long ago removed from winning a national championship over a decade ago. He's done a phenomenal job carrying that program. I think that program will take a hit when Schnall leaves. That's how good he's done. But I also don't think that, there are people out there that know the heart of hearts when it comes to what Kevin Schnall wants professionally,
I mean, think about the debate we had over Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss, a national championship contender that he built. Remember, Lane Kiffin is the one who built Ole Miss into a national championship contender, and he was willing to throw that away essentially.
Yeah.
For the hotter girl, for LSU, and the potential of more.
Everybody's driven differently.
Not every coach ends up working for their alma mater. It just doesn't happen that way. These are professionals, right? They want to climb the ladder. Some of them are lucky enough to work for their alma mater. Fewer of them are lucky enough to be wildly successful at their alma mater.
Yeah.
Very, very few of them ever retire from their alma mater, right? I mean, very few of them get that opportunity because it's really hard and everything has to align. And if Kevin Schnall said, you know what, I'm not going to leave Coastal until I win 5 national championships.
Be there forever.
He'd spent his entire career there, and he'd always probably say, what if?
Yeah, and I don't know that you can, in today's age, I don't know that you can be driven by only national championships. Does he want to win them? I'm sure he does. But I know a lot of coaches, man, that want other things out of life than just, that's the ultimate goal. I'm not saying it's not, but there's more to it. It just depends on who the person is. So, interesting conversation there.
It took Dan B quite a while to jump back into the conversation. Earlier, Dewey said the Cubs suck. Dan is a Cubs fan. So it takes a grand total of 1 hour and 20 minutes for Dan to say, you suck, doofus. And we had to be 100% certain that he was talking about that doofus, not one of us two doofuses.
It could be one of us two.
Cole, when we come back, let's whip around the sports world, cover it all in one fell swoop. That's next, your Daily Wire.
This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Dan B, Dewey, Tom in Somerville, and all the other Tolos. Get out your phones and be ready to call in here in about 10 minutes as we'll be hitting the Tolo takeover. But it's time now, Cole, for the Buzz, the Daily Wires. Everything that's happening around the sports world. The Braves victorious last night over Detroit, 4-3 on a walk-off two-run homer from Matt Olson, but they were not able to get the sweep earlier today as they fell to the Tigers in the third game, 5-2. Bats were still strong for the Braves, though. They did tally 8 hits, just wasn't enough.
Yeah, and it was Yastrzemski with the error today, Diesel, for the Bravos. You're right. Would have liked to have the sweep, but we'll take the series win.
In the NL East, the Marlins beat the Dodgers 3-2. The Mets fell to the Nationals 14-2. This was yesterday, by the way. And the Giants-Phillies game was postponed and will be made up today. So I guess a doubleheader in that one. So the Braves, unfortunately, not gonna pull ahead anymore in the NL East.
So the Marlins, Diesel took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers.
Wow.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
Maybe the Dodgers said, it's just the Marlins. We don't have to try that hard.
They won on Tuesday as well. I know the Dodgers won on Monday, but that's interesting.
With its official announcement imminent, the Saudi Public Investment Fund is now officially pulling its funding from after this 2026 LIV Golf season. LIV has established a new independent board in an attempt to build a, quote, diversified, multi-partner investment model. The PIF had invested more than $5 billion into LIV since 2022 and was reportedly spending $100 million a month this year.
Everything's okay, but if you look at the bottom of the post, here's a link for the donations. If you would, please consider.
Maybe they could have just, dropped it to $50 million per month in funding.
Can we cut everybody's salary in half? I know you're still making a lot.
Bryson, he's making too much money. First round NBA playoff games, they have had their highest ratings across all platforms since 1993 this year, averaging 3.91 million viewers per game.
That's interesting. First round games have been pretty good. I mean, there have been a few that have been. I watched the Lakers. I take that back. I fell asleep last night during the Lakers game. Found out that they lost, but I've watched a good bit.
I was watching that game last night. I was like, finally, defense. I think if the NBA players play defense like this all season long, a lot of those old school fans who say there's no defense in the NBA would actually come back.
I don't think they would. I think they would just say, they'd find another reason. Oh, the jerseys are too bright. Oh,
God.
Anything.
No, they are. They are ugly, that's for sure. Sometimes. I never know which teams I'm watching, right? I tune in. I'm like, who is this team that's wearing gold? That they say Charlotte down there in the corner? What is that? Let's see here, Cole. Sources told Shams Charania that Kevin Durant will miss Game 6 of the Lakers-Rockets series because of an ankle injury. That will make 4 straight games that KD has missed because of the bone bruise in his left ankle.
Not good, but they've won twice without him, so they've brought this series back to being interesting.
Alabama head coach Nate Oates said yesterday that the team is holding a scholarship for suspended guard Aiden Holloway pending the outcome of his marijuana case. He was charged with 2 felony counts, possession of marijuana, which is 2 pounds, by the way, and failure to affix tax stamps. That's a state of Alabama thing right there, right? We're going to make you put a stamp on illegal drugs as a way to add another charge onto your drug felony.
That makes it makes total sense. What are you talking about?
Totally. Patriots season ticket holders' enthusiasm wasn't dampened by their head coach's infidelity scandal, as video showed a season ticket event at Gillette Stadium with Mike Vrabel, and they all stood up and gave him a standing ovation.
Okay, they love Mike. They love Mike. Everybody loves Mike.
Steelers tagged Aaron Rodgers with the UFA tender to make sure that it would secure a compensatory pick in the next draft in the unlikely event that he does go somewhere else. Steve Wilkes is back in the Carolinas after being hired as a special assistant to athletics by his alma mater, and mine as well, App State.
How about that?
In his role, he's going to essentially be fundraising.
Wow.
The NHL playoffs continue, Cole. We now know who the Carolina Hurricanes will face next after the Flyers eliminated the Penguins. The Canadiens took a 3-2 series lead over Tampa Bay last night, and the Las Vegas Golden Knights hold a 3-2 series lead over the Salt Lake Mammoth. And last one here for you, Cole. Jesse Dromer, PGA Club Pro from Riverbend Country Club in Houston, was among 6 teaching club pros who qualified for the PGA Championship for a second year in a row. 20 club pros qualify in the PGA Championship every year. And this year, it will be held May 14th through the 17th at Aronimink Country Club outside Philly.
Tolos, it's time for you to take over. Tolo Takeover. Call us up. Get on hold. 844-326-3663. Tolo Takeover next right here on the Fan Upstate.
on the Fan Upstate.
It is hour number 3, and it is the Tolo Takeover. If you're new to the show, you don't know what a Tolo is, and you don't know what the Tolo Takeover is. Well, if you are new, we appreciate you checking us out right here on the Fan Upstate. He's Diesel. I'm Cole Bryson. However you're listening or consuming, there are a lot of different ways to consume this very show. On the radio, 97.1 FM in Spartanburg, 97.7 FM Greenville, 101.5 FM in Anderson. You can listen on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. You can also listen on the free iHeartRadio app. Or you can watch the show live on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. 121 Tolos watching at this very moment. So many ways to get in. And the Tolo, that stands for Turn On, Leave On. That's what we ask you to do each and every day on these airwaves. Turn it on, leave it on. And if you do, you're a Tolo. And this very segment, Diesel, is for the Tolos that don't like us talking all the time. You know, all we do is talk, talk, talk. We don't give them their airtime. And this segment is their opportunity at 844-326-3663 to call in whatever it is you want to talk about. Now's your time.
That's right, Tolos. The only thing that you can't talk about is what turns you on. Please refrain from talking about that, especially Rick and Greer.
Wait a minute. There can be different meanings to that. Like,
yeah, well, you know which meaning I'm talking about, and we don't want that from Rick. Or do we, really?
Okay, fair. But I could tell you that. So it's a great question. You've made me start thinking. I put on my thinking hat.
Uh-oh.
Which is scary, by the way, right?
Your Hub City Spartanburgers hat is your thinking hat?
Yeah. I'm thinking about it.
I like that, by the way. That's a good-looking hat.
Camo on the bill and on the brim, and Hub City orange. Yeah, I like it, too. Hub City's, they get great apparel, man. Great apparel. Love the Spartanburgers. Let me ask you that. That's an important question. Oh, by the way, Spartanburgers. Tyson Jeffers, GM, tomorrow, 422 on the show. We'll talk Spartanburgers tomorrow. So good segue,
Sweet.
Diesel. If you think about that in a rated R type mindset of you can't call in about what turns you on, okay, that might be rated R, the way you're thinking. But what about framing it in the sense of, hey, you can be turned on by other things in different ways? Like, you're thinking about it sexually. I'm just saying sometimes you get turned on in different ways. Like, what excites you as a person? What gets you going? You know what I mean?
Are you saying, like, you want to know what turns on our Tolos' brains?
No. Sometimes they don't have anything to turn them on. We found that out. What I'm saying is, if you say turned on, like, I'm turned on, most people think, oh, this is bad. You know, this is getting rated R. Dirty. I don't think of it that way. Okay, sometimes when you say it like that, and we're having this conversation, sometimes I do. But I think of it, Diesel, from the mindset of like, hey, as a man, guess what? There are other ways to be turned on. Like, what fires you up when you get out of bed in the morning? What gets you going? Fair. You know what I mean? Like, in the fall, in the winter, there are very few things that I love more than standing in 28-degree water up to my waist and watching ducks fall into the pond or the swamp from the trees. That turns me on.
It's true.
That gets me going. Like, I have a few things in life that just turn me on in a different way than you're talking about, obviously. Don't go there.
The hard part about that is, Cole, you're excited. You're jacked. You're juiced, but you have to stand still.
I can't stand still is what you're saying? No.
I'm saying I'm sure it's hard.
It's hard, right? It is. Let's use the word difficult, not hard. Let's use the word difficult. It's difficult to stand still. It is sometimes for me. I am very ADHD, as you know, Diesel. So, look, we've got to understand. I think it's good for us to know that when you say what turns you on, it's always not the rated R turn on. It can be like, I love catching a largemouth bass. I love watching a big buck walk through the wood. I'm a little bit of an outdoorsman, right? There are other things that turn you on in other ways. Sometimes sports, like a good sporting event, it gets you going. It turns you on. It gets you rolling. So I don't know how we went down this rabbit hole, but here we are.
Let's get off of this real quick because I feel an HR violation incoming at any moment. Let's go to the phone lines. And I do believe, Cole, it's the first time we've ever had this particular caller get on the show. Andrew in Greenville. Is this the first time we've ever had you call in?
No, I've called a few times, maybe under pseudonyms, but
Okay.
I appreciate y'all having me on.
Sure.
What's
Total
up,
takeover.
Andrew?
Floor is yours.
So I appreciate that y'all, immediately nixed the idea of talking about what turns people on and then immediately dove right into it. So in that vein, I just wanted to state that I, for one, don't believe that Dewey is a sexual being at all. There's no way he has ever made love to any human.
Oh my
Wow,
God,
we went
Dewey,
there.
are you gonna take that?
We
He
went
said
there.
you've never been with a girl.
Yeah.
Or anything, I guess. I mean, it could be anything.
God.
Well, no human.
No.
Ah.
Jeez. Jeez.
Oh my God.
Andrew.
Oh.
I mean, we thought we were going to make this or take the show from the rated R track that, turn it into a more of a PG, but we're keeping it rated R, I assume. I see here, right?
It had to be done. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, guys. I appreciate y'all.
Thanks
Oh
for the
my
call.
God.
That was a great-ish wild call, I guess. I don't know. I really don't know what to say.
I think
Dewey?
what he's trying to say is if there's not like an inflatable nipple on the back of it somewhere, Dewey's not into it.
Jeez. This is bad. I mean, we are. We got to stop. This HR stuff's going to get.
I'm just imagining the phone call. I have too been with a girl.
Is
Dear God.
Dewey married? Yes or no?
No, there's no way.
But how does he have
There's-
grandkids?
there's-
He's been.
There's no way.
He's told us multiple times he has grandkids.
It wouldn't surprise me if Dewey was the type of guy that would go to the type of clinic that would allow him to produce grandkids without ever actually having to touch a woman.
This is so bad. We need a veer, take a lap.
I'm gonna veer off on something, Cole. Here, we just watched a movie last night. It's on Netflix. Came out this year, and I'm gonna recommend it to the Tolos right now. Phenomenal movie called Apex. Came out this year in 2026. It stars Charlize Theron, and I don't know his name. It's the guy that was in the young guy that was in the Kingsman movies. That whole series of Kingsman movies.
I watched Kingsman.
I can see his face, but I can't think of his name here. But really good movie. Charlize Theron is she's traveling out in the backcountry in Australia, and she gets into a bit of trouble. And I don't want to give away too much of the plot here, but she is being chased around by this other character. And I feel like, Cole, this would have been one of those giant, big budget blockbuster type of adventure movies if it had come out like 10 years ago when people were still going to see movies in the theaters.
Yeah.
Like this to me would have been a big time movie, a good psychological thriller hunt chase movie. But unfortunately, we don't go to the movie theaters anymore.
No, we don't. I find it fascinating, though. I don't know this for certain. I don't know this for fact, Diesel, but I am pretty sure. I think that you, of all the people I know, and I know a lot of people, I think you are the biggest movie buff of anybody I know.
I love movies. I can't watch movies anymore because I have an incredibly disruptive dog.
But you just watched one last night.
It took us 3 days to watch a 90-minute movie. That's why I can't stand watching. I have a hard not that I can't stand it. I have a hard time watching movies now because like you settle in, you get into the story, and then bam, he's banging on the door, wants to go outside. And then you let him outside. 5 minutes later, you sit down, bam, he's banging on the door, wanting to come back inside. And then he's nipping at your toes. And then he just wants to play. And it's like, come on, man, I'm trying to watch a movie.
It is crazy to me to understand how different people operate when it comes to movies, because you and I couldn't be on further ends of the spectrum when it comes to movies. You watch movies. You're a movie buff. You love movies.
Yeah,
Here's
my
what's
brain
wild.
works in movie quotes for some reason.
It does. Here's the bad part. It is now almost May. Tomorrow's May 1st.
Okay.
I don't know how many movies I've watched in 2026, but I can tell you this.
Total? Or new movies?
Total.
Wow.
It's less than this.
Wow.
I'm holding up my hand for those not watching on the stream. I know for a fact, Diesel, that I have watched less than 5 movies this year. Because the only reason I know I can't name 5 that I've watched. I just and you know what's wild? I don't know like here's what I don't do. I don't scroll through the guide anymore You know how like you used to scroll through the guide.
Yeah.
And you may still do it. Some people at night, they'll sit down and they'll scroll through the guide. I don't ever scroll through the guide anymore. I usually
you have YouTube TV that still operates like an old school,
yeah, it's got
channel
a guide.
guide.
It's got a guide.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a guide.
Okay.
I usually know what I'm looking for. I go straight to it, and I'm done. I don't really know if I've watched 3 movies in 2026. I know that blows your mind, but I just cannot think right now off the top of my head, 5 months into the year, I don't know that I've watched 3, 2. I mean, what?
Wow, I've watched two new movies this week. We also watched Arizona, which is a sort of a dark comedy, and I thought it was really good.
And that is so crazy to me. It is. Some people watch them like you. You're a movie watcher, and then you have people on the opposite end of the spectrums like me. And then I guess I would imagine Artolos falls somewhere in between.
I would think so. I mean, if they're well-adjusted people consume a little bit of everything, right?
I think we are just like, I think you and I have set the spectrum. You're on this end, I'm on this end.
That's true. We are both on the spectrum, that's for sure.
Well, maybe so, but I think the Tolos have to fall somewhere in between because I'm telling you, that's what's bad. I am genuinely trying to think right now at this very moment at 5:12, what's the last movie I've watched? And you can name it just like that off the cuff. The last movie you watched, you said it last night.
Yep.
Before last night, you would have told me the last movie you watched was so-and-so. Arizona. I just cannot grab one. I can't pull one.
Jeez.
I don't know that I've
Tolos, here's a good question for you. What was the last new movie that you watched? It doesn't have to be a brand new movie, just the last movie you watched for the first time, or the last new movie like you went to the theaters, or you watched a movie that just came out on Netflix like last week.
Now you should be able to remember that pretty well. When's the last time you went to a theater? Oh man, to watch a movie.
Gosh, that is a good question.
Oh, was Top Gun Maverick the last movie I saw in theaters?
I feel like I've seen one since then.
Have you?
But
did you go see that in theater?
I did. No, I don't think I saw Top Gun Maverick.
It was so good.
Wait, no, I did. I did see Top Gun Maverick in theater.
It was 2022, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's been, 4 years? I think it was released in May.
I intend to go see Project Hail Mary in theaters if my wife would ever finish the dang book.
And see,
she's reading the book.
Here's what's bad. I don't even know what that is.
She's reading the book, and I've only been telling her, she's like 100 pages from finishing it. And I've only been telling her for the last 2 weeks, finish the book because I want to go see this in theaters before it leaves theaters. And she's like, sorry, I just don't have time. No, yeah, you do. Finish the book. It's 100 pages.
Oh, look at this text. I love this. Texter from the 843 says, I watched Maverick 7 times in theaters.
Now we know what kind of autism that texter has.
Well, let me tell you this.
Plain autism.
I will say 7 times is a little bit much, but it was one of those movies, like you watch Maverick now, it's still really good. Like, I think Top Gun Maverick Diesel is one of my favorite movies ever.
And they're making a third, by the way.
I did
hear
hear
that. Another Top Gun movie.
I did hear. I hate that because it's not going to be as good as I like.
Well, that's what we said about Top Gun Maverick. We said there's no way it's going to be as good as Top Gun.
It was better than Top Gun, like way better in my opinion. Top Gun Maverick though was one of those movies that had the theater effect. It just in the theater, it was special. It was magical. So 7 times is a lot, Texter. But I wouldn't, cast aspersions if it were 3 or 4. I mean, I would have gone 3 or 4 times. It was that good. It really was.
What's the most number of times you've seen a movie in theaters? Have you
Twice.
ever seen him twice?
Yeah, John. I think when John Wick came out, the original,
great movie.
I might have saw it 3. Oh, it was so good. I think I might have saw it 2 or 3 times. With different people, though. You know what I mean? You have one friend that wants to go.
So Nicole took multiple dates to go see John Wick?
I don't know that John Wick would be a good
names?
I don't know that John Wick would be a good date movie.
No, it's
not. The dog dying,
You want to go see it, so that's why you go back.
It was good, though. It was good in theaters. Hey, Top Gun Maverick's up at the top of the list, though.
The type of girl that Cole would want to date long term is the type of girl that would want to go see John Wick in theaters.
Yeah, I agree. It was when it came out, it was
like
hot,
test.
Man. It was hot. Texter says, I thought this was a Tolo takeover. Well, it is. Where you
Call
at,
in,
Texter?
buddy.
Where you at? Are you calling in? we've gotten off on a movie trail, but it's okay. Jarrett Tripp says, me and my wife went to the theater on Friday and saw the new Michael Jackson movie, phenomenal movie. Melissa from Ingalls told us she was going to see that. Remember that?
She did.
Last week?
She bought out like 20 tickets or so for the Ingalls staff.
Texter from the 843 says F1 is amazing. I've watched it 3 to 4 times. What are you talking about, F1? What is
F1 the movie, F1?
Are we talking? What does F1 mean?
F1, Formula One.
I've never heard of it.
The movie star Brad Pitt.
Oh, okay.
About a Formula One, and he's like a washed-up Formula One race car driver that comes back and helps coach up the young rookie.
Oh, okay. I got you. My bad. Texter says Dark Knight 4 times at Cherrydale. Oh, my gosh. 4 times Dark Knight at Cherrydale. That's a lot. Texter says, in my defense, all 7 times were with different people that wanted to go see Maverick. You got a lot of friends, Texter.
We never did find out how he got those scars, Texter.
And you're a good friend, though. You're a good friend, I must say. If you're going 7 times with different friends to the movies, I mean, good on you. Good on you. I don't know if you paid for it all 7 times, Texter, but really good on you. Diesel, we do have a caller. We need to go to the phone lines. Is that right?
We do. We have Tom in Somerville. Welcome to the show,
I thought Tom was dead or something there for a minute. We hadn't heard from him in a few days.
Yeah, guys, been a little under the weather this week. This weather has just got me all sick and tied up in bed and all the nastiness going around. But, I watched the Atlanta Braves today. Very frustrating loss today. They could have won that game, finished off the series with a sweep. And I called a couple weeks ago and complained about Austin Riley and said it was time to be traded. God, he is 2 for his last 37. I don't know what we're doing at this point. I think we could get Dewey and send him to Atlanta, put him in a uniform, and give him 38 at-bats, and I can assure you Dewey would get on base at least more than 2 times.
We talked about, Diesel and I talked about this, Diesel, back in the first segment of the show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about it again later. But, Tom, what's the reason for that? Like, how do you do so good in spring training, but you're so bad in the regular season?
If I knew the answer for that.
Uh-oh.
Tom, are you dying on us? Are you okay?
I don't know what I got, but it ain't good.
Have you been to the doctor?
I'll be all right. I can just take.
That's a
no,
I
He
guess.
says, I'm a real man. Real men don't go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
to answer the question,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's like mental now or what, but
I don't think calling Austin Riley mental is the nice thing to do there, Tom.
I'm not calling him mental. I'm just saying I don't know if it's a mental issue or what, but somebody's got to be able to figure it out.
Well, that's what Walt Weiss is making all that money for.
Hitting coach, right?
If Walt Weiss thinks that's the best guy he's got to play third base, what does that say about the Braves organization?
I'll say this. Walt Weiss has done an incredible job with this team. I mean, I don't think anybody, including Mr. Positive Mad Dash himself, would have ever imagined that Walt Weiss would come in here and have the best record in baseball through the first month.
Yeah, the Braves have a good hitting coach though, and Tim Hires. He played with the Blue Jays. He coached. He was with the Red Sox. He was hitting coach with the Dodgers under Dave Roberts. Red Sox again. He was on that championship team in Boston in 2018. So I guess, Tom, like at the end of the day, you have a good hitting coach and you got a good player in Austin Riley. I guess at the end of the day, the two have to figure it out eventually. You would think. Tom,
are you there? You sound like you're now 30 feet away from the phone.
Yeah, maybe Austin Riley can get some college eligibility, come play for the Gamecocks, and then maybe you can get it figured out, and the Gamecocks can beat teams like Citadel.
Yeah, that'd be a
Hey.
good start.
Hey, Tom, before we let you go, in the next segment of the show, we're going to do an audio blitz. Also on the stream, I'm going to play some video of this golf tournament where all the SEC coaches got together and played golf for charity. I just want to know, who do you think cheats more at golf / lies more about their golf game? Shane Beamer or Dabo Sweeney?
Dabo Sweeney, 100%.
God.
What makes you say that?
Well, one, we all know about New Spring about 15 years ago, and we all know Dabo. Dabo is a full-on, he's a word salad, and he's a cheating machine. And what's funny is back in the day when Dabo was cheating, when it was illegal to cheat, it worked. And now the fact that he can do the things that are quote-unquote cheating, and he's not doing them anymore, should tell you right there. I would love to watch him play golf, because I guarantee you I could go out there, and I don't ever play golf, and I could probably shoot better than Dabo, and then Dabo would go run his mouth to the ACC coaches about how he out-golfed Tom.
Have you seen the footage of Nick Saban's swing that is floating all over social media right now? He claims he shot an 82 at Augusta.
Yeah. Rumor is that Tom taught Nick Saban how to swing a golf club.
Yeah, I can believe that. Tom, thanks for the call, man.
Good call, Tom.
Go Gamecocks.
God, never know what you're going to get. You never know. Good stuff.
Never know. When we come back, Cole, let's do this. Let's show the Tolos that footage. Oh, wait, hang on a second here.
One more late edition. I think Tolos should be fine.
Yeah.
If they call in this late, 22 minutes after the Tolo takeover started, you get them on the air, that's fine, but they should have to pay a penalty, a fine, I believe.
Tolos, here's what we're going to do. Will you or will you not accept the fine, Tolo, of $25 for calling in 22 minutes after the start of the Tolo takeover to get on the air?
No.
Oh, it's Dan B.
Oh, it's Dan B. Bing bong.
What's up, Dan?
Dan, you know the rules. You're supposed to call in at the beginning of the segment, not the end of the segment.
Okay.
He's a rule breaker.
Well, now he knows the rules. I guess he didn't know the rules.
He's a rule breaker. What do you say? Tom was kind of late too.
Yeah, three things movie related. In that Dark Knight movie, I don't know if you've seen it, but in the first scene, there's a big white plane that hijacks the smaller plane or whatever, or vice versa. But
yeah, that was Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, that white airplane I have flown at a previous job.
Whoa.
Yeah, that plane was owned by a company that I flew for when I lived in Louisiana.
So that actual plane, not that model plane or that actually plane?
Yeah, the exact.
Whoa.
No way.
The one that they
I
ripped
call
the wings
BS,
off of?
Dan.
Okay, International Air Response has done many movies, and they're in the Fast and the Furious. They've done commercials. The Super Bowl commercial where they dropped a car out the back of a C-130.
What?
That was also
Now,
their airplane.
next thing, Dan, you're going to tell us you've flown the plane, the Sully plane. You fly that one too?
No.
So you is it the one that they tore the wings off of, or the one that it dangled from?
Yeah, the one it dangled from, the bigger white airplane.
Whoa.
I don't think you'd be able to fly it, Diesel, if they tore the wings off.
Before they tore the wings off of it.
Yeah, before the wings came off.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the so everybody that did that, all the stunt actors were SAS, British Special Forces. This was filmed in Scotland, by the way. And one of the SAS operators ended up breaking his leg because he parachuted into a tree.
Jeez.
Well, you said that with
you kind of laughing about
why
that.
are you laughing?
That's how the story was when I was told. That it was a laughable story.
Okay.
Well, laugh about it. I guess as long as he's okay. The tree.
Anyway, I'm sure they all drank beers and had a good time afterward.
Yeah, probably so.
Last movie in the theater was Five Nights at Freddy's 2 with my kids over Christmas.
Okay.
Never heard of it. What is that?
Movie that I saw. It's based on a video game, a virtual reality video game. It's nothing special, but it's popular with kids.
Yeah.
And then the last movie I saw that was brand new, again, watched it with my kids here at the house over spring break, was the Predator Badlands.
Never heard of it.
Okay. Okay. I didn't see that one, but I like the Predator movies. They're good. I just haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, no, it's decent.
All right.
It's decent.
And
All
again,
right.
thanks,
That's all I
Dan.
got.
Thanks, Dan.
Again, we're so on opposite ends. You're talking about Predator. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea. Like, never heard of it. None of the movies he said. I'm just
whoa! You've never heard of Predator?
no.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Predator?
No. I'm telling you.
What?
When I tell you I am on the
Gosh.
Diesel, when I tell you I don't watch movies, I do not watch movies. I'm telling you.
That's like a formative movie.
I've done.
I'm gonna strap you down to a chair and Clockwork Orange style, hold your eyes open with toothpicks and make you watch Predator.
Wait a minute. Movie reference. Who was the guy that held his eyes open with matches?
The guy that held him open. Are you talking about Clockwork Orange?
No. Come on, movie guy. Come on.
A guy in a movie that held his eyelids open with matches.
Yes.
I've seen Tom from Tom and Jerry hold his eyelids open with matches.
No. Was it matches or toothpicks?
I don't know.
You know what? You do know this. Was it matches or toothpicks? It might have been toothpicks. I think it was toothpicks. I said matches, but I think it was toothpicks. You do. Look at me. I'm telling you, I'm not making this up. I'm not making. Mr. Bean. Remember that? You watched Mr. Bean?
Yeah, I watched the TV show when I was a kid all the time. I've seen the Mr.
Mr. Bean's
movie.
Holiday.
Yeah.
That's where
he made multiple movies, though, didn't he?
I don't know. Now you're asking me to know stuff. I'm just telling you. I've only seen like 6 movies
so you've
ever.
seen like one random
Correct.
Mr. Bean movie,
That's right.
and you're like, you should know
yes,
that one.
That's exactly right. Pretty much.
Dan B says, take away Cole's man card for not ever having seen Predator.
No, I hadn't. Is it old or new or what?
It was like a late 80s movie. Arnold when he was buff as hell.
Let me be clear, though, before we run to a break. I like movies. I very rarely
Apparently
watch
not.
them. I will watch one Saturday. I'm getting on a plane Saturday, and guess what? I'm ADHD.
Oh, you'll only watch a movie when you have nothing else to do.
Correct.
But sit on a plane and watch a movie.
Pretty much. The last movie I watched on a plane was Casino. You've seen Casino.
I love Casino. Great movie.
Diesel, it was too long to watch on the plane. The plane took off and landed before.
Longer flights.
I know. That's the last movie I've watched on a plane was Casino. It's a great movie, by the way. Really good movie.
I cannot believe, Cole, that you have never seen Predator.
No.
Just an absolutely phenomenal film.
Mm-mm. No, I'm telling you. When I say I don't watch movies, I don't watch movies. Okay, it's bad. It really is.
I mean, this is a movie you got to watch. I'm putting it up on the stream right here.
Oh, is it?
Arnold, cigar smoking, giant gun shooting, hunting down an alien predator from another planet.
I have seen clips from it. Yeah, I've seen that picture
from it. God,
TikTok.
If it's not okay, I was about to say if it's not on TikTok, Cole hasn't seen it. Good.
It's pretty
Lord.
true. Pretty
God.
true.
Let's go to
true.
break.
All right, let's
go to break.
Let's go.
That concludes the Tolo Takeover. When we come back, some audio for you and some video. The aforementioned and promised video of Nick Saban's shot an 82 at Augusta golf swing. Give me a break. That's next.
sports takes at the door. Call in if you're man enough.
844 Fan Phone. This is Wire to Wire with Diesel and Cole Bryson on the Fan Upstate.
I'm not going to lie to you, Cole. You got me rattled by telling me you've never seen Predator. Next, you're going to tell me you've never seen Braveheart.
I have seen Braveheart.
Oh, thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God you've seen
on
Braveheart.
TikTok. I'm kidding.
I was about to quit the show right
now.
No,
I'm
kidding.
kidding.
About to quit the show.
I'm kidding. I have seen Braveheart. I do like Mel Gibson. I do know who like one or two actors are. Not many. Not many, but yes. And it feels, I don't know why, but it feels like now Braveheart's a super old movie. But yes, I did see it.
It's 90s, I guess. I mean, it is a 30-year-old movie.
Crazy.
Think about this. Braveheart to kids today is like watching a movie from the 1960s for a kid like me growing up in the 90s.
It's weird, isn't it? It's weird.
I was certainly not watching a lot of movies from the 1960s as a child, but hey, we all have our crosses to bear. Cole, let's hear from some of the biggest names in sports. We got some play-by-play to mix in here as well. This is from yesterday, Cole. We didn't have this piece of audio. We didn't play it yesterday, but this is Bryce Harper. Did Bryce Harper feel bad or take any accountability whatsoever for the firing of Rob Thompson, his manager of the Philadelphia Phillies? Here's Bryce.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime anybody loses their job, it's not fun to have to go through that. We know as baseball players, things happen, and when you don't play to the level that you're supposed to play to, things can happen like that. So that's what happened.
It happened 4 years ago when Rob was promoted to the job. Do you think it creates kind of a sense of urgency or like a message being sent to the locker room?
I think everybody kind of felt that something was going to happen, especially everything that happened in Boston. It was just a kind of a matter of time. If we didn't start playing well, then something was going to happen. I mean, that's just kind of how sports works. That kind of how the game works. So I felt Tomper thought something was coming. I thought the team thought something was coming, and then obviously they made their decision, and we just got to put it behind us and start playing better baseball.
Do you get the sense that he feels bad about it, Cole? My terrible play got this guy fired, or was part of why he got fired. But hey, we just got to put it behind us and play better baseball.
Well, look, I think anytime the team's not playing well, if you are supposed to be contributing to that team in a large way, then you should feel some of the responsibility, right? Because ultimately, it's a player's game. You go play, and the coach, he has to have you in the right position. He has to have you coached up. But I think ultimately, regardless of what position you play, if you're impacting the game or attempting to impact it, then yeah, you should feel responsible, and to a degree.
Dan B on the stream says, "Get to the chopper." Nice reference. Let's see. Here is JT Realmuto, the catcher of the Phillies, basically taking the opposite stance of Bryce Harper, saying, "Yeah, it's tough when we don't play well and it gets somebody fired."
About it? Yeah, it's tough. It's never easy on players when your manager gets let go. I've been part of 3 of them now, and it's never a good feeling. As a player, you always take accountability. Like we all feel responsible for what happened to him. We know that we're the ones on the field not doing our job, but this is the nature of baseball, that at times somebody has to be held accountable, and it can't. It sucks that the players are the ones not playing well, and somebody else has to do their job for it. But that's baseball. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, so it does sound like he feels a little bad for not performing up to snuff, but Bryce was just kind of like, is what it is. Yeah. We'll get somebody new.
I see both sides. Like, at the end of the day, you've got to move on. You've got to go out there and play. You've got to hit the ball regardless of who's out there coaching, So you have to be a little bit somewhere in the middle on that. You can feel bad for a few minutes, but you play baseball every day. Like, you got to go play. Go play. Go play. You know what I mean?
Speaking of hitting the ball, Cole, this is from last night's Braves game. We don't have a lot of audio to play from today's game because nothing really great happened. But in the bottom of the first, last night the Braves got on the board real quick with a 2-shot home run from Ozzie Albies.
The 8th, and that would give the Braves a little insurance. A deep drive again to left. How far is this going? 6. Homers on back-to-back nights for Ozzie Albies.
Love it.
Yeah, he was on top of that one, Cole, and then it took all the way until the bottom of the ninth for the Braves to get it done. Here is Matt Olson with a walk-off 2-run home run. That's a great call.
Great call. The radio call was even better. No offense to the TV guys, but the radio, I'm telling you, man, sometimes you just hear a good radio call and you think to yourself, you can't beat that. You just can't beat it. The TV call was great, but Ben Ingram, man, Ben Ingram does a awesome job for the Braves, and his call was really good. It was a great win last night. Unfortunately, again, couldn't get to sleep today. Braves lost today, but it's okay. You won the series. That's what matters.
Cole, I know that this is an audio medium. Radio is an audio medium, and we love all of our those that are listening, driving around, whether you're in Greenville, Spartanburg, or Anderson or surrounding areas. We appreciate you listening the old-fashioned way on a radio, but we're also a video platform as well, as we're streaming live on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. Some video has surfaced, Cole, of various coaches in this charity golf tournament that a lot of SEC and ACC coaches were involved in over the weekend, part of the whole Peach Bowl apparatus to raise money for various charities. And this video is surfaced, and I'm going to add it to the stage right now. This is Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, among others, taking swings on the golf course. Now, we're going to go back to the beginning. We're going to let this loop back around.
It'll circle, yeah.
It'll circle back around. We'll get to Nick Saban's
There's Pete,
swing.
by the way.
And the question is,
there it is.
Do we really believe that Nick Saban shot an 82 at Augusta National with his swing?
Well, here's what I've learned. And again, I'm not a golf expert, but I've learned that sometimes you can have people that have some ugly looking swings, but somehow the ball goes straight.
But look at this shot. We'll start it over here again.
Yeah.
Nick Saban's tee shot is in the other fairway.
Yeah. Bad tee shot.
It goes way off to the right.
Yeah, bad tee shot.
There ain't no way. Kirby's got a decent swing. Kalen DeBoer has a solid swing as well. Pete Golding, though, I think Pete Golding can put the ball down the fairway.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. Look, do I think Nick Saban would lie to the American people about what he shot? No.
I do. 1,000% Nick Saban would lie about what he shot.
I mean, come on. If he shot Mitchell talked about it on the text line, the Joy Law Firm text line. He said, Saban with an 82 at Augusta, what do you shoot on the back nine? I can't imagine Saban would lie to us. No way, right?
Well, here's the fun part about this, okay? That video is all over social media. Just search for like Nick Saban golf swing. But Cole, there are people within the SEC who are not buying the fact that Nick Saban shot an 82 at Augusta National because Kirby Smart went on Paul Feinbaum's show and said, hey, Paul, I need you to get the dirt. Like, how good of a golfer is Nick Saban really?
Yeah.
Here is that audio. I got a really important question for you. Okay. So are you getting everybody that comes in here after me to come up on stage and talk to you, or are people going to run from you?
At this event, a lot of times they do run, but at this event, most of them will drop by.
Well, I've had asked the one guy who worked for Coach Saban the longest, and I have the utmost respect for him, but I've got multiple of his former coaches that have asked me to ask you.
Okay.
That they want you to ask him about his golf game and what exactly is his handicap, because he's now gone on record as shooting his age multiple times, which I don't know if you know his age, but that's a really good golf score.
74.
Yeah. And he's gone on record as getting on the first tee box, and he's the only guy in the world that has a better record on the first tee box than he does with his record of college football games. And his college football record is pretty what? Really good.
I think the two of us have seen a lot of.
Yes. He wins on the first tee box, and he's got people from Tuscaloosa texting me, asking me, why he's still getting strokes, and I can't figure out why he's getting strokes.
Does he use the senior tees too?
I don't think so. He hits the ball.
That's good
an
stuff.
Incredible golfer, but he still gets strokes from all his buddies. So on behalf of us, make sure you ask him that.
Yeah, you've seen him. I mean, I've interviewed him a long time, and he's someone that you choose your questions very carefully with.
That's good. Good
You get a
stuff.
staff meeting with him.
I love it. I love
Paul
it.
Feinbaum's got to find out for real. Is Nick cheating, or is he a really good golfer?
Hope not. The Braves will play 7 games when I leave to go out of the country on Saturday. The very next segment, what will their record be? Prediction time while I go out of the country. And will they still keep it on track even though they're playing arguably one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team? We'll get into it next.
Text or call. One number does it all. 844-326-3663. That's 844-FAN-PHONE. This is Wire to Wire with Cole, Bryson, and Diesel on the Fan Upstate.
Well, Diesel, you will be solo. You'll be by yourself next week, and you and Dewey will be able to hold every second down. Sorry about the Dewey part, and Rick too.
The Double D Sports Show.
There you go, Dewey and Diesel, Diesel and Dewey. I love that. I do love that. But I do want to know what your prediction is, what my prediction is as well, and the Tolos out there. The Braves are red hot right now. They didn't get the sweep, but they did win the series this past weekend. They have the Rockies, or these past 3 days. They have the Rockies this weekend. Very good team. The one thing that I don't love about going out of town, anything going on vacation or going on a mission trip or whatever for work, I don't love that I can't watch sports as much as I normally do. So I do feel lost in a way, Diesel, because I feel naked without sports, right? So the Braves play 7 games while I'm out of the country. I leave Saturday morning to go to Nicaragua on a mission trip. Saturday, the Braves play the Rockies. They play the Rockies again on Sunday. They're at Seattle Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then on the 8th and the 9th, Friday and Saturday, while I'm still gone, they're playing at the LA Dodgers. 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 4 o'clock. The Sunday game doesn't count because I'll be back in town. So you've got 7 games, Saturday to Saturday, 2 with the Rockies, 3 with the Mariners, and 2 with the Dodgers while I am gone, while I'm out of the U.S. of A. What will the Atlanta Braves record be those 7 days? 7 games, sorry. 7
Phenomenal question. All right, let's take this series by series.
So you'll have 2 with the Rockies.
Yep. I think with Chris Sale, that's a win.
On Saturday.
Spencer Strider on Sunday.
Ooh.
Do I think Strider is going to be on his A game his first time out? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say they drop game 3 to the Rockies. It's on the road. Strider's first game back. I'm going to say they fall there.
Okay.
So 1-1.
Okay.
Now we go to the Seattle series where it'll be Richie, Elder, and Holmes. Richie's been really good in his first couple of appearances.
They're 16-16, by the way. They're an average team.
Elder's pitching well. Holmes is lights out. I'm going to say they sweep the Mariners.
Whoa.
Sweep
Whoa.
the Mariners. And then you're back on.
I'm on Saturday, so you got 2 games. So count both Dodgers games,
both
Friday
Dodgers
and Saturday.
games. I'm going to say they go 1-1 in those 2 games.
Okay, which would give them a total record of what?
5-2.
5-2?
5-2.
I take that.
Yeah,
Are you kidding
would.
me? Over
Yeah.
7 games? All right, here's my prediction. On Saturday and Sunday, they take 2 of 3 from the Rockies. So they've got 2-0 against the Rockies. Maybe they lose Friday. I think they could sweep that series. I think they lose their first series in Seattle. I do. So I think they lose 2 games there. They've lost 4. And then they play the Dodgers 2 games. I believe the Braves, the 2 first games against the Dodgers, will split. I have them going. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Let me make sure I did my math right here. I've got them sweeping the Rockies. Okay. So they're 2-0. Mariners, 2-2. Give me 1 win against the Mariners, 3-2. Dodgers, 4-2, 4-3. I think they go 4-3, but I could easily see it. You said 5-2?
I said 5-2. I think they get it done in Seattle.
We're not way off from each other.
Yeah.
I could see 5-2. I could see 4-3. Hopefully it's 5-2. Heck, hopefully it's 7-0, right? But I don't know if that happens. By the way, shout out to Dustin, my good buddy Dustin from the Peddler in Spartanburg. Shout out to him. Appreciate him listening. I don't know. I'm optimistic. Diesel, but I just think at some point all good things come to an end. They're not going to win every series the rest of the year, and this West Coast trip might be where they falter a little bit.
Hey, we just want to make sure the Braves are not losing back-to-back series, right?
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world to drop a series, but it is it starts to get problematic or worrisome when you're dropping multiple series in a row. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if the Braves find ways to right that ship quickly and not drop back-to-back. Now, what does –
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
What does surprise us, Cole, is some other things going on in Major League Baseball. There are some teams that normally perform really well at this point in the season and others that normally don't. And some of those kind of raised your eyebrow earlier in the show. Let's jump back and talk about that some more next, right here on the